Hello out there. I'd like to tell you about my vision that I had. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, about the message in the vision, and a few other things. But I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I don't have nothing written out. I wanted to speak from the heart, speak from the mind. I'm a business owner and I usually have things organized, but I just wanted to shoot from the heart, you know. Alright, now this vision, I was at home and all this confusion was outside, and it caught my attention. So I go outside and I look, and I see all this confusion, so I go out there to see what's going on. And it was, like I said, it was mad confusion. It was cars overturned, people fighting and screaming, hollering, and just a lot of confusion. And some people were pointing up. So I happened to look up and I saw the most amazing thing. I saw spacecraft with yellow, red, and green lights on the bottom going around. And it was like 7 or 8 ships. I'm not sure. It was more than 3, more than 4, but the sky wasn't full of them. And some of these ships were throwing this blue beam on the ground, and everyone was going crazy. So I immediately said, it's the Rapture, it must be the Rapture. So I run back in the house. I have 2 kitty cats, so they have a carrier. I threw them in the carrier, and I look out the window and I see the craft leaving. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt so, just like drained from that. But then something inside of me said, hold on, they'll be right back. They're coming back. Not right back, but they're coming back. So I felt a little better. So I grabbed my case and I set it down, and I looked down and I put my head on the floor, my eyes on the floor, and I went up to, I looked up to look back out the window to see if they were coming. And when I looked up, I was in this place. I didn't know where I was, but in retrospect, like after this vision, it was heaven. I know it was heaven. But anyway, I'm in this place, and inside. Now this place, technology was so advanced. I mean, this was technology I don't even know when. It was just so advanced. But anyway, it was this beautiful couch. It was a couch I never seen before, but it was 2 beings sitting on a couch. And these beings, they looked humanoid, of course. They didn't look nothing like, they weren't human, but they were humanoid. They didn't look like any gray aliens with the eyes, nothing like that. Their eyes were round, more round than ours, like twice as round, black. And they had no hair, and they appeared to be sexless. But somewhere inside of me, I just thought they were a couple, the way they were sitting close together with their legs, close together too. They were sitting on this couch, and behind them was a wall, and the window, it was a window, covered the whole, I say 97% of the whole wall was a window. And you can see out, it was dark out, so you can see out the window, and out the window in the distance I can see 2 spacecraft in the sky, and they were dropping these yellow flares, and they were like coming down in this nice little shape, yellow. And it was like a party atmosphere, like something was happening, something was going on. But I don't know if it was like this all the time or if it was a special event. But I had that charged atmosphere. But this is why I know it was heaven, because the whole atmosphere was charged with love. It was just so much love in the air. People that I never knew on this planet were speaking. Everyone was, hey, how you doing? It was just genuine. They smiled. But one thing, when they looked at you, they knew you knew they knew everything about you, and when you looked at them, you knew everything about them. The smiles were genuine, the hellos, and it was just that good party type, something's good, something good is in the air type of thing, So when I also looked out, not only did I see the spacecraft, but they had this the streetcar, those San Francisco streetcars. If you don't know what they look like, I've never seen one in person. Like I said, I'm on the West Coast, but you know, I'm from the East Coast, so I never saw one in person. I've seen them on commercial. But anyway, this little car, streetcar, something, it looked like that. It was sort of like that because it was in the street, and it looked like that, but it had no roof, and you could see it. So maybe people were riding it like a roller coaster. I don't know, because their hands were up like this, and it went through the street. They also had this bullet train, and this thing looked so aerodynamic and futuristic, but it was just parked, and it had like some black words. I couldn't read the words. Everything was so new that, you know, I didn't really pay too much attention to anything, because it was just, you know, all of a sudden I'm like. But anyway, I ended up in this cafeteria. It was a very huge cafeteria, and the food, it was like banquet style, and you could just go and get anything you want. I've never seen this type of food before. It looked sort of like if you mush cake and ice cream together. You know, I couldn't smell it, I didn't taste it, but I know I was packing my plate, and next thing I know, now everything was free, and that's one thing I, you know, was thinking about after this vision. But as I'm leaving out this cafeteria, this being comes, and now, like I said, this being comes float past my vision. I don't know how I looked, what I looked like, but I know that when they walked, they kind of glided. Like they were wearing like some Air Jordans or something, but you couldn't see their feet. They had these long gowns on, and this one being had a red gown on, but like embroidery. It was gold embroidery, down here. And she went past my vision, and when she looked at me with so much love and compassion that, I mean, intimate, like, I know you and I love you, you know, and just floated past like. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. But before I can say anything, boom, I wake up, and first thing I did is I grabbed my digital voice recorder, and I recorded the whole thing, everything that I told you. It was amazing, because that sense of loss, that I had a loss of love. I was amongst love and like family, and it was just a beautiful feeling. And you know, I just had that loss, like, you know, I wanted to go back. It was a beautiful thing. After I recorded it, I was still, you know, it took me a couple of hours before I can get out of bed because I had to digest what I just witnessed, and it was amazing. So anyway, I own my own business too, actually. And all through the day as I'm working, I had to keep stopping work, and these thoughts and feelings kept coming to me, and it kept all throughout that day, and it built this big picture up. Now, I think it was 2 days later when I get the whole picture. Now the picture is this. First of all, the message God wants me to deliver is, for some reason, you're going to be afraid of the spacecraft. You're going to be frightened to death. Like, what I think, and I don't know this for sure, but what I think is there's going to be some type of false flag alien, so-called alien invasion, and they're going to blame it on extraterrestrials. You're going to see it with your own eyes, but I think it's going to be, well, anyway, you're going to be afraid for some reason. And the fear was contagious, because the little ones and the not so little ones, the teenagers, they were catching that, you know, that fear in the air. And this is something that this is what, when I saw it, 90% of me was calm, but that 10% of me, I was afraid, because I was witnessing something I've never experienced. I don't know anything about it. I haven't been educated on it, so I was a little fearful from that. But they weren't really doing anything. You know, they were beaming people up, some people. And but uh, it was just an amazing thing to witness. I mean, this is like an awesome power that you have no control over, and that's the fear. You know, something that you don't know about, something that has this awesome power. It's fearful, yeah, it's very fearful, but God does not want us to fear. And like I said, for some reason you're gonna be, no one fears like that for nothing. It was confusion type fear. I mean, it was amazing. It was just, I should have been fearful, because this is, you know, it was an amazing thing. But anyway, God does not want us to fear. These are from God. They're close to God, and He doesn't want us to fear. That's His message. Do not fear. I'm with you. That's His message. And let me tell you a little bit, because I don't want, after saying this vision, I think a lot of people, no one's going to ever believe. I mean, you know, it's funny about, it's funny about that. You know, people, I believe in God, I love God, I trust God. But it's funny how people never seen God, never talked, well, you know, you can talk to God, but God doesn't, with His voice, answer you back. And you can believe in something that you don't see. But when people have videotaped the craft in the skies, everyone is quick to, you know, dismiss it. It's a hoax. It's a, you know, I mean, come on. It's your, you don't say that about God. And I'm not saying that you should, because I do believe in God. But I'm just saying, if it just doesn't make too much sense to believe in one thing that you can't see and then don't believe in something that you can see, or you make a lot of excuses of why you didn't see what you saw, you know, and that just doesn't make sense to me. Also, I mean, you have all these other planets, and we're the only ones that have life. This is the only planet that has, come on, I mean, it just, and then it goes on and on. If you actually inspect what we've been taught, it doesn't make sense at all. I want to talk about myself, because I want people to know that I'm not a nut. I'm not crazy. Haven't been drinking, smoking, or sniffing glue. But I did used to be an alcoholic, and that's why it's amazing how God has touched me, because like I said, I wasn't an alcoholic, one of those stereotype. I was a functioning, working alcoholic. Matter of fact, I built my business while I was an alcoholic. I would drink on the weekends, and I would drink 1 week out of a month. Totally me. It was my vacation, and at that time I had the whole world on my shoulder. I was the only one that built this company, and I was doing everything by myself. So I thought at the time that, you know, I deserved a week out of the month just for myself. And what I would do at that time is I would go get a 6-pack of 211s. That's some malt liquor, beer, and I go home and I watch movies. And I wouldn't answer the phone. I wouldn't do anything. No work at all. And just, you know, but those 3 weeks of sobriety, I'm about 9, you know, I'm working very, very hard, and yeah, I was successful with it. Anyway, I built this business while being an alcoholic. After this vision, I didn't even know that I didn't drink anymore, because it was like it never happened. It was wiped clear. It took a couple of days for me to say, oh, I don't drink no more. I didn't, it was just that God had wiped that thing away. But anyway, let me finish telling you what He wants me to do. Sorry, like I said, I don't have anything written down. I'm speaking from the heart. Okay, now, because I was an alcoholic, God, and an introvert, you know, I've always been, always wanted to be alone, always wanted to be by myself. That's the most positive environment I can be in, is one where the energy is controlled by me. So anyway, I wanted to always be by myself. So I go to the store, get my 6-pack, and sometimes 2 other beers, just in case I wake up and only have 2-3 beers. I'll already have it here and don't have to drive and drink and stuff like that. So sometimes I will get more than enough, so I wouldn't have to be drinking and driving, because I had, in my addiction, I had several DUIs. And but anyway, where was I? I wrote a few notes so I wouldn't, but I didn't have anything else written down. Oh, okay. I was talking about how God had delivered me from my alcohol addiction. And he also, now this is what he wants me to do. He wants me to, and he didn't tell me anything. I didn't hear any voices. This is thoughts, and after the vision, like I said, the rest of the day, all these thoughts, and I know it had, I mean, when this foreign information is coming into me, and I don't know anything, so I ask a question, and boom, it's right there. The answer's right there. So that's how all this information was coming. That's what it's. Like I said, I'm not a religious person. I didn't. I'm not gonna say I didn't believe the Bible. I thought the Bible was maybe 60% true. It had some forces in it. So, I didn't really. I'm not a religious person. I know I have positivity inside, and I have compassion for my fellow human being, and I will try to help anyone out that I can. And I have been, screwed around a few times, but hey, such is life. Anyway, what God wants me to do is because I'm an introvert, and that's what I was trying to explain. I forget, but I love being by myself. I don't like being out in public, and sober or drunk, that's how I was. So God wants me to go out in public. So I have to face my inner fears while delivering this message from God. It feels like a piece of hair is. Anyway, yeah. So he wants me to come out of my comfort zone and get in. And I hate being in public. I hate speaking in public, and I definitely hate speaking up in public. But I have to do all these things to deliver God's message. I have to face my fears. And this is part of it too, this message, because I'm very uncomfortable speaking or having people look at me. I don't know how many people are going to be looking, but people are looking, and I don't like that. So I'm a little uncomfortable, but like I said, God's message is much more important than the uncomfortability that I feel at this moment. And this uncomfortable feeling is only temporary, and God's love, eternity. So I can deal with this uncomfortability for a minute. But yeah, God wants me to go out, and he wants me to talk to people in AAs. So I'm going to AA meetings. I'm out in public. Okay, I go to AA not because I need it. Like I said, it's gone. The desire to drink, it's like it never. I'm serious. It's like it never ever happened. So I'm not going to AA meetings, so I can stay sober. God keeps me sober. I mean, if you love God and you know God, it's not like God doesn't want you to drink. I would overindulge. I wouldn't just drink a beer or two. I would drink with the intent on getting heavily buzzed, if not drunk. That was my intent. And I would abuse it. I would drink too much of it, and too many times. Day after day, that whole week, I would drink. So that's what offends God, is and it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be food. You could be addicted to gambling or sex or anything. You do things in moderation, and it's okay. But when you overindulge, it kind of offends God, Anyway. So I'm going to go to these AA meetings, and I'm going to hear their message. I want to be the last one to speak. And when I speak, I'm going to tell them first, of course, a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to tell them my message of sobriety, how God just took it away. And then I'll tell them some more things that I'm going to tell you in a minute, but I'm going to tell them even more because the things I have to say, I don't want it taken away from God's message. So his message is no fear. Do not fear. That's what God's message is. Do not fear. And like I said, you're gonna fear. I think they're gonna make you fear for some reason, but they don't. They know about it. They know about this. They know, and you don't. So they can control your mind in a many types of ways. But for some reason, you are gonna fear, and God doesn't want you to fear. I mean, think about it. If these craft were dangerous to us, they've been coming here for quite a long time. They would have been. I mean, what? They would have been did something. They haven't done anything. They're just observing. Now, that's one of the things I'm gonna explain later. But they're only observing, and it's for a reason. It's a good reason. It's for humanity. But with the movies, they're gonna do all this stuff to try to control your mind to think the way that they want you to think. And from what I saw in that vision, it worked because people were frightened. But anyway, that's what I need to do. I need to come out of my comfort zone and do this message, bring this message to the people from God. And I don't know why he picked me, little old me, but it changed my life dramatically. Not instantly was the alcohol, but I was always a good person. I've always had goodness in here. Like I said before earlier, people on this planet have screwed me over many a times, and I still have that goodness in my heart. Not because I'm such a, this and that and this and that. It's because just because someone has done something to me doesn't make me. That means if I did something to you that you did to me, I have become what you have become, and that's not cool with me. So that's why I, let her turn the other cheek, like Martin Luther King used to teach us. And when he was teaching that, I thought that was really, really weak. How you see dogs ripping flesh, water hoses turned on you, people being hanged, and crosses burning, and just this domestic terrorism live, and you can say, okay, turn the other cheek, hit me again. To me that was kind of weak, but I understand it now. I really do. And he had something. Well, he had something, and it's taken me personally this long to realize what amazing man that he was for that, because it was about humanity. And you have to, if it's not in here, it ain't gonna be in here, or vice versa. It has to be inside you. And I wanted to talk about negative energy, and how I didn't understand at first why I was so uncomfortable with being in public all the time, but I've understood that it's the negative energy that's out there that makes me feel uncomfortable. I have positive energy inside, a lot of it, really a lot of it, and that negative energy really made me feel very uncomfortable. When I was drinking, and that's another thing, that when I was drinking, it was okay because I was numb. Everything was a party, everything was good, and everything was, nothing could get my spirits down when I was drinking. It was okay, so I could be in public under the influence of alcohol, because it was just a party in my head. Even when I'm driving, and anyway. But this negative energy, it is you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, but you can feel it. But not the way, not with your hands. Now this is the thing. People don't understand, you see these people go nuts and just shoot all these people and do all this crazy stuff. It's that negative energy that possesses people. Now let me explain something to you about negative energy. When you just think, first of all, that's where it comes from. It comes with a thought. You think negative thoughts. Let's say something happened to you, and you're going through it, and you're thinking negative thoughts about it. That just that's a magnet. Any type of negative thoughts, they're magnets for negative energy, and it blossoms that. If you are thinking negative thoughts, I'm sorry I didn't explain this well. If you're thinking negative thoughts, and yeah, I'm explaining better now, right? But if you're thinking negative thoughts, they attract other negative energies. So if you had this much negative thought, that negative energy comes like this, and now your negative energy is like this. Now the more negative thoughts, the bigger that negative energy becomes, and it can follow you around like a cloud, and it has to release itself. And sometimes when it does release itself, someone or some people are either dead or hurt. This negative energy. Think positive thoughts. It goes a very long way. I mean, think positively. If anything negative happens to you, you fight it with positive energy. That's a very good thing to know and to try. It takes to automatically do this. I mean, like, I can automatically do it now, but it takes practice. It really does. You can't just, because you'll have to remember. I know me. It wasn't tough. It was hard to adjust to fighting positively or fighting with positive energy. And if you do that as well, I mean, if you pray, it just takes practice. That's all. And you don't do it because, I mean, you don't want to be. You will be possessed by this negative energy if you allow negative thoughts. And negative thoughts can be so innocent. If those thoughts are gonna hurt someone or has a negative impact on someone, then those are negative thoughts, and they can attract more negative energy. And it all depends on you. If you don't know about the negative energy, you're gonna think everything is coming from you, from your mind and from your heart, but it isn't. It's negative energy. And then once you're full with negative energy, you can, like a puppet, you can be you're a robot now for negative energy, and you will be, or you have the potential to be possessed and controlled by someone who manipulates negative energy. And like I said, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it. So you won't be able to tell or notice when it's happening. So watch out for that. Think positive thoughts and deal with negative situations always with positive energy. That's very important to remember. Now this is something personally that I've done that I want to speak to you about. I have disconnected from society. It was easy for me to do, and it's going to be very hard if you do it. It was easy for me because naturally I'm an introvert. I love being in, so it wasn't that hard for me. You know, I got rid of my cell phone. I don't go to restaurants and eat. I'll explain that why in a minute. I boil my water for 45 minutes, throw 2 tea bags in it. I have tea water. I don't watch television. I only watch the news, and just for the signs, just to see signs and how the temperature of the world that I'm living in. That's it. I watch. You're being controlled by the programs, your TV I mean, I know I sound crazy. You're being. They're telling you what to do, what to buy, how to feel, how to think, even how to vote sometimes. And excuse me. You don't realize how when you're connected in society, you're doing this, you're so involved. I mean, everything looks normal to you because this is how you grew up, this is how your parents grew up, and no one's saying anything different. So everything looks like they want it to. Nice, and no, it ain't like that. No, it's not. And if I keep saying more, you're gonna think that I'm crazy. But anyway, I have disconnected from society. No, I do business calls on my computer, phone, either Skype or Google, and everything else is email. And I'll call family and friends every now and then to check and see how they're doing. But other than that, I'll go to the store. You know, you have to make money and you have to get groceries. That's as far as connected into society that I am. Other than that, I don't. And the main reason why is because this system is evil. And I know it sounds like yeah, some kind of nut, but this system, everything is okay. I'll give you an example. No one questions this, but prosecutors can know a defendant is innocent, yet they will still seek the death penalty for their career, and no one questions it. These are serial killers that are legal, and it's embedded in society. It's okay. You know, they can kill people with really low IQs, mentally retarded people. You know, it's funny how you can kill somebody, even admit it, and it all depends on money. You can get out on bail and wait for your court trial. You're supposed to be a dangerous criminal. Prosecutor will paint you all this, but as long as you can pay that money, oh, okay, we'll let you go for a minute. You know, and it's ridiculous. It's hypocritical. It's very, very unjust. And but that's just one example of the system. One small example. I have many, many examples, but the system is really evil, and it's undercover. It's in plain sight, and that's what this whole scam, that how they control your minds, is a beautiful. I mean, not beautiful in its scheme of things. The way that they set it up is beautiful. It's flawless, almost flawless, because you don't even know what's happening. That it has happened and happening. You don't even know it. And that's what makes it beautiful. It's really, really an evil plan, and we need that. We need evil, because we wouldn't appreciate heaven and God as much. Some of us wouldn't appreciate it as much if we didn't have evil, or an alternative to what we're witnessing. We would probably just take it for granted. But if I were you, I would disconnect from society. The church is not properly teaching you the right way, because they haven't learned. They're teaching the way that they were taught is the way that they're teaching you. And when these new things are coming to people, just discount them, especially due to religion. Oh, I don't believe it because of the Bible. The Bible, let me explain. When the Bible was first written, it was only for the rich people, the elite. The peasants or the common folk could not get access to the Bible. So it was until they, protested all this blah 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 blah, and the king at the time, he commissioned 40-something people to write this Bible, and some people say even Shakespeare. But anyway, they wrote this thing. So everyone's basing their life and their beliefs on this Bible. Not saying if it's a positive thing that you're doing, it's it's not that bad. You could still be deceived, and I'm not knocking anyone's religion. If it's positive and it's good, then it's a good thing. I'm not knocking religion. Religion is not for me. That's all I'm saying. I personally don't have religion, but I respect everyone's choice. If it's positive and it's a good thing, then it's a good thing. So I'm not knocking religion. I'm not knocking anything like that. I'm just saying for me. And when I say disconnect from society, you would probably have to disconnect from your church, because that's not. First of all, church is in here. Church is in here. Love is in here. Love is in here. Your connection with God is here. You don't necessarily need a church. Because church, religion can make you see through a tunnel, and you can't see nothing out of that tunnel because of the religion, your faith, and that makes you closed-minded, because you're basing everything on the Bible or on your religion, and that's an ideology, I'm sorry to say, and you're basing everything on it. You may be doing it for good reasons, but still you're part. If you're part of society, you're part of an evil. You're part of a scheme of things. Everything is built on money here. Now God, we didn't pay God for our free will. We didn't pay God for our life. Everything was free. And this is one thing in the vision that I was left with, because when I was in the cafeteria, that's one thing I was like, wow, everything is free. Nothing cost here. Everything is free. So that was beautiful. But And, I was thinking after the fact, I'm like, wow, we come here, we have to pay for clothing, we have to pay for shelter, we have to pay for long distance communication, we have to pay for transportation, they keep messing with the gas prices, we have to pay for so-called education. I mean, everything, money, 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 money. Then you have these women, they even want your money. I'm sorry, ladies, but it's true. The first thing that come out of their mouth is, when they meet you, what do you do? That's really how much money you got. Everything's run on money, and it's so materialistic. Everyone wants to, backstab for profits or profit off the. We have lost our sense of humanity, what it means to be compassionate and look out for others. Look at the Republican Party. It used to be where you run for president, you kiss babies and put on that, put on that front. But now with the blatant racist remarks, and you're running for president, and that's okay now. That'll get you elected. These Republicans, let me tell you about these Republicans, and I'm not a political person. Like I said, I'm unattached from society. I'm just an observer, okay? But I wanted to mention this. If anyone does not live their life like Christ, if anyone doesn't act like Christ, if anyone doesn't give compassion or show, then they're anti-Christ. And that's what these Republicans in office are. They're anti-Christ. They are unlike Christ. They're trying to cut Medicare for the elderly, cut Social Security benefits for the disabled, cut food stamps for the and most people on food stamps have a job. They just can't afford it. And all the Republicans want to do is give to the rich. They want to take the jobs overseas. But when you cut these programs of the poor, you're not looking out for the poor. And Jesus was looking out for the poor. He was looking out for the people, the elderly. He was healing people. The Republicans want to take away the health care. I mean, come on, man. They are anti-Christ. They are. They are against Christ's teachings and what Christ was about. That makes them the Antichrist, and people don't see it. Like I said, this system is set up where everything looks one way, but it's really the other. But you have to really look at things. I'm not involved with any of this. I don't have anything to do with it, and I'm just observing. You can call it what you want. You can call me what you want. I am just observing. I don't watch your television. I don't do anything like that. I have to go to the store to get something to eat, and I try to stack up, and that's what you guys should also do. I have a lot of canned foods because who knows when the electricity can cut just like this. Without electricity, I have a lot of credit cards, so debit cards and credit cards, so it's electric money. If there's no electricity, what you gonna do? And if the grocery stores aren't open, gas stations can't open, so pack your just in case. I ain't saying nothing's gonna happen, but you want to be prepared, because lights are on now, everything's fine, but it can change just like that. So you need canned foods, and I'm gonna tell you, you should get top ramen noodles. I'm gonna say that because you can just soak them. If there's no hot water or anything, you can just soak them in cold water and open up a canned food, and you're okay for a couple of weeks if whenever they turn the electric on, if it gets turned back on. But you will be prepared. I pretty much touched everything that I wanted to touch, and I may not even say the rest of the stuff, but if I do, it's not going to be included in this. It'll be somewhere else, because this is God's message. It's all about God and what He wants humanity. Do not fear. Please listen. Do not fear. He does not want us to fear. God loves us, and He is with us. He knows what we're going through, and His plan is bigger than what we can see, bigger than what anyone can see. And just don't fear when you see those craft in the sky. And I would suggest any non-believers out there to do a little research, be a little open-minded, because people aren't crazy. Some people are, and some people aren't. And just do your research, and don't be so negative about. If you don't believe, then okay, that's okay. You don't have to. but you will in the future. But anyway, you don't have to listen. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for listening, and I hope you take some of my suggestions to heart. And I know it's going to be hard if you try to disconnect, because you're so embedded. You wanna go to the sports games, you wanna, all this things is so embedded in you, so it's going to be very hard. But think about that's why a lot of people, when the rapture happens, you're not going to know anything, you're not going to see anything, because you can't see, you're blinded. We're going to be able to see people that I've disconnected from this evil thing, and I'm going to be able to see. And I want you to be able to see as well. But you're not going to be, this is everything that you're involved with, like the television, your favorite programs. Not only are they brainwashing you, but it's a distraction. If they're distracting you, you're looking this way, and your attention is this way, then you don't know what's going on right here. You can't see it. You need to be able to notice these changes, and you're not going to be able to if you're closed-minded and you have blinders. You're not going to be able to see, or if you're distracted and you're too involved with society. It's a lot of evils in there, and you're a part of it. You have to disconnect. It's going to be hard. And your kids, I would homeschool. Don't know, because we don't know when this is going to happen. And God bless you all. Humanity really needs it, and we need that positive energy. I wish I wasn't so introverted. I'm glad I am, because I'm comfortable, and I don't like negativity. I don't like negativity. But anyway, good luck. God bless you, and have a beautiful day. Peace.